Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. I remember yesterday I posted a video announcing the release of the design candidates for the American Gold and Silver Eagle program. The first change in the reverse of these designs since the program was conceived in 1985 and released in 1986. Well, today we're going to take a comprehensive look at those designs for the Gold and Silver American Eagles. A recap from yesterday's video, the Citizens of Fine Arts did recommend a design, and on the 23rd of June, the Citizens Coin Advisory Committee will recommend a design. But let's take a look at these. A lot of these overlap, and we're going to take a look at them for each coin. In other words, the gold and the silver. And so here we go. Let's get started. We have a lot to go through here. But I think it's worthy to take the time to do it because this is going to be the bullion program of the world. And so we want to find a design that's going to really represent the ideals and both in terms of what America is about, the freedom that we endure, that's what the eagle represents, but also good design elements and features. So here we see two eagles in flight. I was under the impression, at least from some of the articles that I had read, that it was going to be a family of eagles. And so this looks like a budding family of eagles. There's no chicks, but they're building the nest there. And but I think it's a bit too busy and a little bit too much. I prefer one eagle design, just one sole eagle. And so here, but they're showing a storyline here of building a family, and that's okay in some sense, but I don't think that really represents, and some of the design elements of this just aren't quite up to snuff in my opinion. I never did like the family of eagle designs on the American Gold Eagle anyway, and this just seems to be another example of it, although this design I think is an improvement above what we had seen before. So here we see an eagle coming in with a branch there, and I think this is okay. It is an olive branch, but doesn't show the other side of preparing for war that we do see. But nonetheless, I do like the fact that the eagle is spread out and does take a bit of the design, but I almost like the idea of capturing the whole eagle, not having it cut off by the rim there. So that would be probably a no for me on this design here. But the inscriptions, I think, are well read there. But you'll notice one thing about the gold and silver eagles is they don't put the fineness of the gold. They just say fine gold, fine silver. There's no 0.99 fine. But, of course, the eagles are not pure. They are 0.9167. And here we go. Here's another what appears to be two eagles getting ready to start to build the nest. And to me, the branch is the foresight. It's the dominant feature of this design, and this would be a no for me as well for the Gold Eagle design. And the eagles are too small, the wings are too thin, and this one far away there, that almost looks like it's lightning striking the eagle. So it may be fine for a different type of coin, but it is not worthy of an American Gold Eagle in my view. Here is two eagles that are dominating together, one carrying the arrows and the other one carrying the olive branch. And it's a no for me because I just don't think having two eagles, together like that is it's just too much. It's too busy, and to my view, it doesn't reach the level of what I think a gold eagle should represent. And it is almost showing two equals or two Americas. This is one America, even though it does seem like at times we are divided, but this almost does seem like a divisive kind of a design. But I do like how the eagle's feathers overlap the lettering, but I'm not a fan of the lettering on this either. And on the outside, that serifs and that font is not very appealing to me. And a big no-no for me would be the italicized lettering that is arced like this. As you hear it, it's italicized, and that is to me, that's not good design. It's kind of weird looking, especially when it is arcing like that around. And so, yeah, that's would be a no for me on that one as well. And here are this design. It's a strange looking. This eagle looks more like a buzzard than an eagle in my view. And I'm not a big fan of this font either for the outside. And again, italicized, even though this is not arced, I would not be a fan of the italicized in any form, but it does look better here than it does. Now, you're going to find that theme, that there some of these are italicized, and here's the italicized font here as well too. Would be a no for me. A poor design in my view. The eagle looking like a buzzard, kind of crouched down there. Very strange looking design. Here, the premise of this is reminiscent of the Vistas of Liberty series that were on the Platinum Eagles from 1998 to 2002, where eagles were flying through the different vistas of the United States. And though I see what this is capturing here, it's trying to capture all the different landscapes of America together, from beaches to, well, desert and mountain. There's no trees on this. So the landscape looks a bit barren. And again, the italicized part of this seems it's not where it says 1 ounce fine gold is not becoming. And the eagle in flight looks okay. Notice the eagle's not carrying anything. There's no branches and no olives or no arrows. Olive branches are arrows and the talons of the eagle here. Even though this might be a natural way the eagle is in flight, the feathers do look a bit strange on this side here. But again, I do like that overlapping some with the text here, because I think that is something we kind of see. That kind of shows kind of cool design and how you can overlay that there. Here's another example of it with a landscape. And though, again, I understand what they're doing with this, perspective and how that would translate onto a coin, it does not do well. And you can even see that in this rendering. This feather is coming, this wing is coming right at you, but unfortunately this does not translate well, and it almost looks like the wing has been cut in half there. So if you're going to do that wing, it should be spread out almost completely in such a different way to see the full wing there. So this does not translate well either because of that. And again, the same type of landscape. And again, notice there's no trees. It's a rugged, barren landscape. Looks like something you might see out of Greenland, rather than the United States anywhere. And again, the italicized font would be a big no for me. And I'm not a big fan of this font either, the United States of America. There that is. All right, moving ahead here. This is a unique and creative design, but we're going to see other examples of this where it's essentially a portrait of an eagle. And I believe if you're going to show the eagle should be full on in flight, or at least full on in the frame of the planchet there in the design work. Again, this might be good for a commemorative coin design in the future, but I don't think it fully serves the purpose of what it should be. Notice that the inside of the beak is the olive branch there, signifying peace. But nonetheless, there it is. Now you'll notice too here, the outside font here says United States, and of is italicized. Again, not a big fan of italicized fonts, especially when they're around the rim there, e pluribus unum, and in God we trust. So this design would be a no for me as well. Yes, I'm very picky, and I hope you all too. And I definitely want to get your thoughts on some of these as well. Now, this design would be okay if it were the whole eagle were showing, and the beak and the mouth wasn't completely open. That is a little reminds me of a whale sifting for plankton. This does not serve well. It looks strange to have the mouth open like that. It's almost like the bird is flying in chaos or some sort of strange thing there. But there we have it, the United States of America. And you can see there that it's too cut off in my view. I believe that all the wings should be seen in flight there. Okay, here's another example of that, another rendition of it with the wording moved around a bit, but again, too close, mouth open. That would be a big fat no to me. Now, this design is pretty good. I like this one. I like the idea of the sun rays, although I would do it more like the St. Gaudens with the more streamlined multiple rays going up. And I would move that eagle down a bit and show these feathers a bit more outstretched, a bit more, so you can see them fully and see the full feathers coming in off of this side here too, so that it's not cut off. I believe we should see the full eagle, or at least much more of it than it is, rather than cut off. But this one is okay. This design I could probably live with to some level. I do like the single eagle design for sure. I think that is fairly well done here. And indeed. All right, very good. Let's move on to the next one. Here's another example of it with the lettering moved around a bit. All right. And this one here is not bad either, although I would not have the mouth open. Again, not a big fan of the open mouth. And I would, again, I would have that eagle fully in frame there. No cut off of the eagle. We want to see the whole eagle, folks. That's right. That's what it's about. And I would not have that $50 denomination encroaching upon the eagle at all. I would move that down here or up there. All right. And this one is, it's interesting. I do kind of like this highly detailed eagle here. The eagle above it, at least in this rendering, looks like the ghost of this eagle going up into the sun. As if it's been died, as if America died. And even the way they translate this would be much lower relief, showing that it's above, but which would give the implication that's the ghost of this eagle, which means that America is dead. We do not want to send that message. And it's showing the sun beating down there. It's very strange to have the sun up above. I believe the sun should be below. A very odd design, but I'd like the rendition of this eagle. I think move that up or somewhere else, or maybe have the feathers kind of down a little bit, or whatever would be a better way to do it, and have the sun below. This one looks like one of those cheesy gentry family portraits from the late 80s or early 90s. Stylized family portrait of eagles, a mama and father eagle. You've seen them. I'm sure there's plenty of memes out there with those cheesy portraits. A big fat no to me. Although I like the detail in the drawing, it just is corny. No way. Would not have do this one in this particular design. Very good. All right. Now this one is promising. I like this look of the eagle kind of here in flight, looking like it's about to land. But my only thing is that they should move United States of America so that the and maybe have it partially cover some of the lettering and show the eagle's feathers, I think, coming a little bit closer. I think there certainly could move it down just a little bit to capture the full eagle in flight there. So this one has some promise, in my view. There's another example of it. Again, I would not have the lettering encroach the feathers there. And this one is not bad. I think it captures enough of the eagle's feathers. But I would take that. I don't know what that is. That doesn't look like an olive branch. I would just take that out of the mouth completely. And I would probably put $50 right here and put In God We Trust down here, if it were me for this one. Now this one is interesting. This could potentially be utilized for some of the security features with the flag motif behind the eagle, but I almost think that this is a little bit much with the flag rendition here, but I kind of see what they're going here. But in proof, that could really take away from the eagle design in my view. So that would probably be one I would not go for, but I do like this eagle here. Take the branch out. And this one is, I don't get it. It looks like they're either handshaking or they're getting ready to fight. Yeah, big fat no on this one. Horrible. Don't know what they were going for that one, but I hope the committees don't choose that one. Horrible. This one looks like a proud stuck-up eagle portrait. Big no to me. No way I would want a portrait of an eagle in the back. We need to see the full eagle in flight. That's part of what liberty is about. Freedom. Not stuck up in a kind of a strange manner there. But yeah, that's a big one. This one's kind of an odd stylized version. Sort of a, you know, kind of gives you sort of this Art Deco type feel for the American eagle. And I just the drawing is not very good of this. I don't know how that would necessarily translate. And notice that it's sitting on this kind of this fascia of the bound thing that you would see in the Mercury dime. And but yeah, probably would not choose that one in my view. But I do like that the design that the eagle's feathers kind of encroach upon this portion here, the raised up part of the rim there. And again, another Art Deco stylized version here. And but again, not really a big fan of this eagle. And this is a very patriotic. This is kind of interesting. Got the flag motif in the background here. Again, lots of opportunity to utilize some of the overt security measures, because then we'll have to see how that stuff is placed. But the ones with just the eagle in it, you know, there's multiple ways you can do that with an eagle design too, from putting micro printing to, or what have you, to kind of showcase some of the technology on it. But nonetheless, they could do a lot here with this background. This one's okay, but this wing here looks a bit strange. Again, perspective is one thing, but how that translates on a coin is a completely different matter. And even in this drawing, it looks like that this wing has been sliced, or it's been deformed in some way. Again, another one showing with a nest of chicks, and I'm just not a big fan of that. Would not like this design, especially since it's cut off in the top. A big no on that one for me too. This one here, it's okay, but again, the eagle is cut off, and I like to see the full eagle in flight there. Another one with a waving flag. I almost think the In God We Trust is lost in this waving flag and should be either moved down here, and the Pluribus Unum arced down here. And the portrait of the eagle. This one looks strange, looks like a different portrait. Looks like some actor, but I can't forget the actor that it looks like. Again, another version of that. And here we see this design over the nest of eagles. It is a full eagle inside, and you can see some hint of vegetation in the background, trees and a mountain. So it's somewhat nice, but again, I almost think the eagle by itself is much better rendition, not necessarily on top of the eggs there in the nest, but some other format here. And but yeah, and it's kind of strange how the eagle's kind of looking back. And again, I'm not a big fan of the open mouth motif, and the whole design looks like it's tilted. Looks like it's tilted on this one. Now this one is not bad, holding the banner of E Pluribus Unum. I think that's kind of a cool design, and you have the arrows. Now notice there's 3 here. And there's actually 6 branches of the military, but they're holding 3. And there's an olive branch on that side. But this is not a bad design, I don't think. Could probably live with that one, in my view. Notice the numbers here. I want you guys, when I'm done with this, to post what number you think is the best design, if you can, below. But here is the $50. These banners are a little too much here, and it covers up too much of the eagle, in my opinion. $50 too big here. Now this is pretty good. I kind of like this design. It's in flight. The eagle's in flight. It's sort of an homage to in some sense, to the St. Gaudens design, flying the other way, of course. But I would say make the eagle bigger and make the United States of America much smaller, in my view. That's what I would do. Eagle should be the major motif here. Now this is a pretty good design. I like this design. I love symmetry, and it kind of is somewhat of an homage to the quarter from 1932 to 1998. But I do like how the wings are spread out. I would make the eagle much larger and have those feathers encroach on the United States of America. But I like the stars there below. But the eagle, other than the eagle being larger, which I think it could be, this is probably one of my favorites. I like this design. In fact, I like it for the silver too. We're going to go through all these with silver too. This is going to be a long video. This one, I think, is very nice. This complements the Walking Liberty design. And I think this one would be good for the silver coin, really. Walking Liberty, Walking Eagle. But on the gold, it's kind of nice too. All right, very good. And here is a sitting eagle. Not a big fan of this, the way this is with the back, the head turned up. It's not bad, but it's not really my thing. All right. Another motif of that with some stylized elements there. This one is nice. I like this. Eagle in flight over some trees. In some ways, I would probably take the trees out of there because not all. We want something representative of the entire landscape of the United States, or not at all. And I would almost just or have some other stylized element underneath of it. But this one isn't bad. But in some ways, from a composition standpoint, got a lot of busyness down here, and then with the eagle, then nothing here. It's kind of strange blankness here. Another portrait of an eagle, not bad, but not a favorite of mine. Portraits on our coins of the eagles. So there you go. So that takes care of the gold coins and their design elements here. And so now we're going to move to the silver. And this is again going to be a lot of the same type of stuff, but think about it on a silver eagle. We're going to run through these a little bit quicker, but you can see there the fine silver and see what we like. These were kind of copied over, or they're going to the same thing, so they can choose one or the other, or the same design on both. You never know. But thinking about it in terms of silver, a lot of the same type of criticisms I had for the gold would apply to the silver as well. For sure, for all of these. Again, the italicized fonts, not a fan of at all. I think it's just a bad. Again, this eagle's wing here looks cut off here, even though it's obviously pointing straight at you. It just does not translate well in a drawing, and I know it won't translate well on the canvas of the metal as well here too. All right. Again, not a big fan of the open beak there. Too close up of a design. This one is not bad. You know, this one could be fine, I think, for silver. Notice they used the dollar and $1 sign rather than $1 writing out the words like they did before. Same thing for the 50, you know, for the $50, are you just saying that to save space? Oh, that's good. But again, I like the sunshine rays in the back, but I think they could do that a little bit better. And that is. There it is again, the eagle. The two eagles, no, not a fan of this at all. It's creepy. It's just creepy. Like the ghost of this eagle. No, not a fan. Family portrait. Cheap Sears family portrait. This is nice. Silver dollar. But I kind of like the blank space is something. I almost think the C pluribus unum should go up here. I kind of feel because this is a much larger blank space. Or make United States of America, United States, and then of America here. And not cover up that eagle. They could do a much better job with composition in that, in my view. But there's some promise to some of these designs, but other aspects of them that don't bode well in my view. This design, horrible, horrible. It does look like they're fighting. Who would want two fighting eagles on a coin? The Perth Mint did two fighting kangaroos, but that was a different story. It does not send a good message when we're infighting. It's like Civil War, you know what I mean? We don't want that. Again, this Art Deco-ish style. Very strange looking face of the eagle there holding the banner. And this, again, this is not a bad design, but that the perspective of this wing is kind of lost. I think it should be more upspread or what have you. Kind of like the $5 commemorative Liberty, Statue of Liberty, gold $5. Another example of it with the bird's nest. There you have it. Portrait, no. Again, not bad, but it's just something strange way this, and I don't like the open mouth. It's not too bad a design here. All right, very good. And again, this is okay, but I would rather have the banner not be so obtrusive. And I almost think it'd be better to have United States of America up here and $1 down here, and E Pluribus Unum be in this inside of this banner here. Again, not a bad design, but I think more appropriate on the gold, I think, than the silver. Again, this I would be fine with. I like this design. I think this would be fine. It's kind of an homage to, in some ways, to the quarter and also to the heraldic eagle that John Mercanti had on the silver eagle before. Kind of has the same kind of feel to it, but just a slightly different look. Kind of like the symmetry of it. But it should be bigger. I think it should be much larger. Have these feathers encroach on the United States of America. And yes, indeed. As this says $1 all spelled out. Notice the fineness of silver is not on here. Does not say 0.999 fine silver. I think it should. I really do. But this would probably be the most appropriate as the complement to the obverse, which is the walking liberty. So why not have a walking eagle? Or standing eagle on the back, but I almost think it should be a bit more centered and larger, I think, to fill up more of the space here. I would think that would be quite apropos. And again, the standing lid, I'm not a big fan of this design. And there we have it. This is fine, except for the same reasons I've mentioned before. Too much blank space here, and could be a little bit larger in my view to help fill some of that space. Again, I'm not a big fan of the portraits. And there we are, back to the front, back to the beginning there. So there you have it. Post your thoughts below. That's my review of the design candidates. We shall see what is chosen, and I hope they do it. There's some potential here, but there's definitely a lot of room for epic failure, in my view, for some of these designs. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.